Welcome dear student and Jai Swaminarayan. In the previous video, we were discuss about the pressure. What do you mean by the pressure? When we applying a force to the any object, the force acting on the object perpendicular to the surface area per unit area is called the pressure. Pressure is equal to the force acting on the any surface perpendicular to the surface per unit area is called the pressure. So dear student, when we applying a force to the solid object, it creates the pressure on the solid object. Not only in the solid object, the when we applying a force on the liquids and the gas also, it creates the pressure on the liquid as well as the gas also, right? So dear student, in this video we will discuss about a pressure in a fluids. What do you mean by the fluids? Fluids, that is the substance which can flow, is considered as a fluid, right? So the liquid and the gas can has a property, can be flow, right? So we consider the liquid and the gas is considered as a fluid, right? Because both can flow, the liquid and gas are considered as a fluid. So dear student, in this section we will discuss about the pressure in a fluid and the effect of the pressure in a liquid as well as the effect of the pressure in a gaseous. So let us start with the pressure in a fluid. All the liquids and gas are considered as a fluid. Why it can consider as a fluids? Fluids are a substance that can flow, and we can say that the liquid and gas both can flow. So we consider all the liquids and the gaseous are considered as a fluid. A solid exert a pressure on the surface due to its weight, right? We know that a solid exerts the pressure on the any surface due to its weight. Similarly, fluids have a weight and they also exert the pressure on the base and the wall of the container in which they are enclosed. So when we fill any container with the any liquid, due to the weight of the liquid, it creates the pressure on the base as well as it creates the pressure on the walls of the container. So dear student, here the fluid also creates the pressure on the surface. So when we place a any container and fill with the any liquid, it creates the pressure on the base of the container as well as it creates the pressure on the wall of the container. So according to the Pascals, the scientist Pascals gives the law for the pressure exerted on the fluid, right? The according to the Pascal's law, the pressure exerted on the fluid is transmitted equally in the all the direction. So in the stationary fluid, the pressure is all in the pressure is same in all the direction. It creates the pressure equally in all the direction. So dear student, if the container is filled with the liquid, it creates the pressure, same pressure in all the direction, same pressure in all the wall of the container, as well as it applies the same pressure, it exerts the same pressure on the base of the container. According to the Pascal's law, the pressure exerted on the fluid is transmitted equally in all the directions. So let us understand what effect of the pressure in a liquid as well as in the gas, right, with the help of the one activity. So let us understand the activity number 10.4. Take an empty plastic bottle, right, and close the mouth of the bottle with an airtight stopper. Put it in a bucket filled with the water. You see that the bottle floats, right? So now take a one plastic bottle which is easily available at your home. Now close the mouth of the plastic bottle with the airtight stopper. Now close the mouth of the plastic bottle so that air cannot enter into the plastic bottle. Now this put this plastic bottle in a bucket with the filled water, right? You can see that the plastic bottle float in a water. Why it float in a water, we will see later on in this video. Now push the bottle into the water and you feel an upward push force, right? Now try to push the bottle in the deep into the water. You will feel that some upward force that push the bottle in the upward direction, and this force is due to the force acting on the bottle due to the liquid. Now try to push further it in the downward direction. You will find that it is difficult to push deeper and deeper. As the bottle is going deep and deep, try to push the bottle further deep and deep in the water. You will find the difficulty to push the bottle in the deeper and deeper. Right? Why? Because of the when we applying a force, when the bottle is goes in the downward direction deep and deep, the more amount of the force is exerted in the upward direction. So this indicates that the water exert a force on the bottle in the upward direction. That shows that the water exert a force on the bottle in the upward direction, and this upward force exerted by the water goes on increasing as the bottle is pushed deeper till it is completely immersed. So as the bottle is goes in the deeper and deeper, the upward force exerted by the water on the bottle is increasing and increasing till it is completely immersed, right? So now when the bottle is completely immersed, the force exerted on the upper direction is same as the weight of the bottle. Now release the bottle at the deep, right? What happened when we release the plastic bottle at the deep on the water? What happened? It bounced back to the surface. It bounced back to the surface. Why? Does the force due to the gravitational attraction of the earth act on this bottle? If so, why does the bottle stay immersed in the water after it is released? How can you immerse the bottle in the water, right? So if we consider the gravitational force of the water, it will go in the downward direction. But why the bottle is moved in the upward direction in the water? Due to the upward force. Here the gravitational force is there, but the upward force is more compared to the gravitational force, and due to this the bottle is moved in the surface of the water. So here the force due to the gravitational attraction of the earth act on the bottle in the downward direction. So the bottle is pulled downward, but the water exerts the upward force on the bottle. So here the force, gravitational force is in the downward direction, but the force acting on the by the water is in the upward direction, right? So thus the bottle is pushed upward, and we have learned that the weight of the object is force due to the gravitational attraction of the earth. Now when the bottle is immersed, the upward force exerted by the water on the bottle is greater than its weight, and therefore it rises up when released, right? So dear student, when we applying a force downward direction in the bottle, gravitational force is there, but when we release the bottle in the deep in the water, the upward force exerted by the water is more greater compared to its weight, and due to this the bottle rise up when we release in a deep. So dear student, from this activity we can say that when the object is partially filled or completely filled in the liquid exert the force in the upward direction, right? Understand? And this force is called the beyond force, right? So let us understand what is the buoyancy and what is the beyond force. So what is the buoyancy, or we can say that the up thrust, right? The force in the upward direction. When an object is immersed in a fluid, it experiences an upward force that is called the beyond force, right? That is called the beyond force, and this property is called the buoyancy or upthrust. So dear student, from the above activity, if we consider the bottle, right, when the bottle is placed in a liquid or a water, the water exerts the force in the upward direction, and this force is called the beyond force, right? And this property is called the buoyancy, right? Or we can say that the upthrust also. So understand what is the buoyancy. The buoyancy is the property of the liquid when an object is immersed in a fluid or a liquid as well as in the gas, it experiences an upward force. That force is called the buoyant force, and this property is called the buoyancy property, right? Here let us consider this figure. A bucket is filled with the water. When we place an object in the liquid, partially or fully in the liquid, the force of gravity pulls the object in the downward direction. So the gravitational force on the object is in the downward direction, and the upward force exerted on the object due to the fluid is called the buoyant force. So the buoyant force is in the upward direction. So the force of the gravity pulls the object in the downward direction, and the buoyant force pulls it in the upward direction. So the magnitude of the buoyant force. So according to the Archimedes, the magnitude of the buoyant force depends on the density of the fluid, and that depends on the density of the object in which we place in a fluid, right? So what is the buoyant force and what is the buoyancy? Understand, student? So dear student, here the gravitational force is the downward direction and the buoyant force is in the upward direction. So if the object can float on the surface of the water, or it can sink on the liquid, it depends on the gravitational force as well as the buoyant force. So let us see why the object float on or sink in the water, right? So if the density of the object is less than the density of the liquid, it will float on the liquid. So if the density of the object is less than the density of the liquid, we can say that the object is float on the liquid. But if the density of the object is more than the density of the liquid, it will sink in the liquid. So if the object, when the object is placed in the liquid, if the density of the object is more than the density of the liquid, so we can say that here the gravitational force is more than the buoyant force, the object will sink on the liquid. But if the buoyant force is more than the gravitational force, the object will sink float on the surface of the liquid. So dear student, understand, when the object can float on the surface of the liquid, or when the object can sink on the surface of the liquid, when the density of the object is more than the density of the liquid, it will sink on the liquid. Or when the density of the object is less than the density of the liquid, it will float on the liquid. In case of the water and plastic bottle, the density of the plastic bottle is less than the density of the liquid, so we can say that the plastic bottle can float on the liquid water, right? So let us take the activity to understand that. Take some water in a beaker like this as shown in the figure. Take some water in the beaker, and now take a piece of the cork and the iron nail of the same mass. So take a one piece of the cork and the iron nail of the same mass, or we can say that the same weight. Now place them on the water. What happened? The cork floats whereas the iron nail sinks. Why this happen? Right? Because the cork floats because the density of the cork is less than the density of the water, or we can say that the upthrust beyond force on the cork is more than the weight of the cork, and due to this the cork flows on the water, right? Now similarly the nail sinks, right? The iron nail sinks. Why? Because the density of the iron nail is more than the density of the water, so that the beyond force on the iron nail is less compared to the weight of the iron nail. And due to this, here firstly we consider about a cork. The gravitational force on the cork is less than the buoyant force. So we can say that the cork will float on the surface of the water. Similarly, in the other case, iron nail. In the iron nail, the gravitational force is more compared to the buoyant force. So we can say that the iron nail sink on the water. Right? Understand, dear student, why the object floats or sink in the water. So dear student, now we will understand the Archimedes principle. The scientist Archimedes gives the what amount of the buoyant force is exerted on the object when the object is placed partially or fully in a liquid. So for that, let us understand about the activity 10.7. Take a piece of a stone and tie it to the one end of the rubber string or a spring balance as shown in the figure. Right? So take a stone and tie a one end of the tie it one end of the rubber string with the stone. Right? Let us see this figure. Right? As shown in the figure, take a one small stone, right, and tie it with the rubber string. The If we suspend a stone with the rubber string, the rubber string is elongated. Right? Elongation occurs in the rubber string. The length of the rubber string is increased. So suspend the stone by holding a balance or a string as shown in the figure. Right? Note that the elongation of the string or a reading on the spring balance due to the weight of the stone. So due to the weight of the stone, the rubber string length of the rubber string will be increased, and note down the increase in the length of the rubber string. Now slowly dip the stone in the water in a container as shown in the figure. Now slowly enter the stone in the water container, right? So observe what happened to the elongation of the string or reading on the balance. Now note down the length of the string is increases or decreases. So here you observe that, so when the stone will put slowly deep in the water, right, the length of the rubber string is decreases due to the buoyant force. Due to the buoyant force exerted in the stone, the net force on the stone is decreases, and so that the length of the rubber string is decreases, or we can say that the reading on the spring balance is also decreases. We can take the activity with the help of the spring balance also. See dear student, we can understand this activity with the help of the spring balance also, right? So if we tied a stone with the spring balance, it takes the some reading, that is the weight force exerted on the object, weight force of the stone. Now when we place a stone in a liquid, the reading will be decreased. Due to the buoyant force, the weight of the object will be decreased, right? So from that we can say that the weight force exerted on the object, due to the buoyant force exerted on the object, weight of the object will be decreases. And what is the buoyant force? How we can calculate the buoyant force? The buoyant force is calculated with the help of the Archimedes principle. The weight of the liquid displaced by the object is equal to the buoyant force, and this principle is known as the Archimedes principle. So understand what is the Archimedes principle. The Archimedes principle states that when a body is partially or fully immersed in a fluid, it experiences and the upward force, and that is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object. Right? Weight of the fluid displaced by the object. So Archimedes states that when the object is placed partially or fully immersed in a fluid, it experiences the buoyant force which is in the upward direction, and the buoyant force is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object. So what is the use of the Archimedes principle? The Archimedes principle has a many use. The Archimedes principle is used in designing a ship and the submarine, right? Hydrometer is used to determine the density of the liquid. Lactometer is used to determine the purity of the milk. This all the instruments is works on the Archimedes principle. So what is the Archimedes principle? Understand, When the body is partially or fully immersed in the fluid, it experiences the upward force that is called the buoyant force, and the buoyant force exerted on the object is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object.